Hey everyone, welcome to another MLM. We got a new addition. I actually got a gift from one of you guys, and I usually do not like people spending money on me, but I mean, look at this. How cute is this? All the way from Norway. Thank you so much, Lynn, for sending this on. I also got some Norwegian candy, and I already opened the chocolate because I couldn't wait. I mean, I recorded the Juice Plus video before this one, so I was too excited, and I really love, like, it melts in your mouth. It is amazing. And again, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Even though I don't like that you spent money to send it to me, I really appreciate it. Super cute, especially this, and this one is staying with us forever now. But yes, today we are back to talk about Optavia. I almost said Optavia again, but I have a few posts that I wanted to go through with you guys, because last video, the very first video on them, was kind of more focused on Lynn's experience with them. But today we got a short training which is called Why You Aren't Losing Weight, and we got a few posts, like I said. So that's what we're gonna do today. Thank you so much for joining. Don't forget to click the like and subscribe button if you'd like to support me. And let's just put a little disclaimer in here and let's get into this shit show. Okay, so first I wanted to show this post. Okay, so this post says, it's a before and after, and the before says, always tired, lethargic, joints achy, angry and easily irritated, emotionally unstable, addicted to refined carbs. I love how they put emotionally unstable. Do you know what that means? I'm pretty sure they probably meant irritable or something like that, not emotionally unstable. But anyway, and then the after photo is of course her laughing, all happy, her life is transformed. The healthier me, full of energy, full of confidence, no longer emotionally unstable. Good for you. No longer a slave to refined carbs, different relationship with food, most of all, a renewed mind that came along with my physical transformation. And I feel like I talk about this a lot. Obviously, this lady lost a lot of weight. We do talk a lot about how easy it is to fake a before and after. And obviously, she did have some weight loss here. It's clear. But like when you are on a restrictive program such as Optavia, of course, you're going to lose weight. And I think that you being hungry is not going to make you not emotionally unstable. As someone who has been on toxic diets before, I know that they made me even more cranky and even more unhappy than I was before, when I thought that I was like had extra weight or whatever. So I mean, I just found it very funny because they said emotionally unstable. If you're emotionally unstable, you need therapy and you need professional help to help you. You probably need some medication or something. Losing weight is not going to resolve all of your life's problems or any deeper problems that you may have with maybe anger issues or stuff like that. I mean, I don't know what they meant. I'm fucking emotionally unstable. It's such a weird thing to put on a before and after photo. Jeez. But anyways, let's get into this video. It's 12 minutes and yeah, we're gonna go through some reels that are obviously very toxic, as Optavia usually is. But let's listen to this first. And this is supposed to be one of their, I think she's on top, somewhere at the top anyway. I think she's successful in Optavia.
And today I want to talk about why you might not be losing weight while you're doing our program. So something that happens to most of us is old habits die hard, and most people struggle with consistency. And so when I have a client that's like, Gwen, my scale isn't moving and my inches aren't moving, then we dial into a couple of things. So when I start a client, of course, I work with them through week one. Then we do a week one, what I call a tip call, giving them little tips, making sure they're doing everything right. We do another tip call on week 4. We do another tip call on week 8 until we get them to their healthy weight. But what I always see happen is, well, and first, by the way, when they say, Gwen, my scale isn't moving, my first question is, how are your inches? If their inches are moving, then I don't care about the scale, because if the inches are moving, I know their body is still burning fat for fuel and they're probably doing things right. It's just not showing up on the scale.
That's actually a good point. Sorry, I'm munching on chocolate. Oh my god, it's so delicious though. That's true. I was about to say you shouldn't be so focused on the number on the scale. The scale's gonna change if you're losing weight, sure, but you shouldn't be obsessively doing it every single day. I used to do that every single day. I would step on a scale. First thing that I did in the morning and the last thing that I did in the evening, which was the worst idea ever because you have so much food and shit in your body and extra weight and water. But I used to do that all the time. It was so toxic. I would get so sad if a number is the same or if it went up a little bit. So that's super toxic. I was about to say, please don't rely on the scale, especially if you lift weights and stuff. Like, I have gained maybe 7 kg within the last year and a few months because I did 2 bulks in between. I did a bulk last winter for 5 months and I'm bulking now for 3 months, and I have gained 7 kg. And even when I'm cutting down, I only go down for like maybe 2 kg or 3 maximum, so I'm still have like 64 kg or something like that. So the old me, I was 50 something kg, barely 51 or 52, maybe like 4 years ago. I would be so stressed out if I saw that I was getting close to 60. I just can't, like, this whole life where you're not thinking about the scale and you don't care what the number on the scale is because you feel great, you feel healthy, you feel strong. It's something that I never thought I was gonna feel. It's an amazing feeling. So if you are on a fitness journey, even if you're just doing stuff to lose weight, please do not rely on your scale, because that can turn very, very toxic very, very quick.
Because the scale can encompass, did you not drink enough water? Did you not eat enough lean and green? Did you not get enough sleep the night before? Did you end up doing way too much in the yard the day before and blew through some electrolytes and didn't replace them? Are you constipated? I mean, the list goes on and on of what shows up on that scale, but the inches never lie. That is why you get to take your inches every single week, because if your inches are moving, I know that scale is going to catch up the following week, so you get to stay the course. So there's tip number 1.
Okay, the scale doesn't necessarily have to catch up. Like I said, if you're doing stuff like lifting weights, your inches might change, but the scale might change to the opposite, I know she's talking about weight loss, but I'm just saying in general, I don't like this. Also, even measuring yourself is not going to be accurate always. You can measure yourself the first thing in the morning before you eat any food, obviously, but you might be on your period or ovulation, you might be bloated for whatever reason, so your inches are going to be different than the day before. That can also get very toxic, like depending on how often you're measuring yourself and what exactly are you expecting to see and how much you rely on these numbers. It can get toxic still. So I would always prefer taking progress pictures, but take them on the days that you know that you're not bloated, before the meals and stuff like that. But I would never do that every single day. And measuring is always, in my opinion, better than the scale, but still you need to be careful when you do it, how you do it, how often you do it, because like I said, it can very, very easily become very, very toxic.
I should write down how many tips there are. Anyway, so tip number 1, measure, measure, measure. And if you're a cuckoo bird like me, during my weight loss phase, my coach kept saying, do not get on the scale every day because it's going to throw you emotionally off, because it's not going to go down every day. But I always know that if I pull out the measuring tape once, twice a week, I'm going to see results every time if I'm doing the program correctly. So if you're the cuckoo bird like me, throw that scale away and pull out that measuring tape a couple times a week, because if you're doing it correctly, you will be losing inches. So
again, not necessarily, because you can wake up very bloated or you can be bloated all day around. It depends on your digestion, it depends on your hormones, it depends what time in the month it is. So I don't agree. I do agree that measuring and taking pictures is the best way to track progress, but you shouldn't rely on it as much, because like you should always take into consideration what time of the month it is, how much you ate yesterday, when was the last time you went to the toilet, things like that. It all affects our bellies and the way that we look. Obviously, I'm talking about the waist area because I feel like women really like to focus on the waist area the most, but yeah.
Then if you were my client and you're like, this is not working, my scale and my inches are not moving, here is what I do on a tip call or a systems check. So first question, are you eating your first fueling within 30 minutes of waking up? Because when you wake up, your blood sugar is low. So the sooner you can bring that blood sugar up, it starts your metabolism working for the day and you start burning fat. Unless you have thyroid issues and you are on Synthroid, and then you get to wait an hour because the Synthroid needs to dissolve, and it needs an hour before you can put food in. So half an hour if you don't have thyroid issues, an hour if you have thyroid issues. Then from that point on, are you eating every 2.5 to 3 hours and not going longer than 3 hours? Because at that 3 hour mark is when your blood sugar starts to drop and you stop burning fat for just a tiny little bit because your metabolism and your blood sugar is going down and your brain says, go get me sugar. It's a physiological reaction to your blood sugar dropping. So go figure, think about it. When you've gone longer than 3 hours, what happens? You end up in the darn Cheez-Its, and you don't even like Cheez-Its, but it was your brain triggering you, blood sugar is low, go get some sugar to bring it back up. So that's where get consistent on your schedule. For those of you guys that have been diving into Dr. A's life book and you started adding the app, this will help remind you every 3 hours to be eating. So, or set alarms on your phone if you're not doing the app. So every 2.5 to 3 hours, don't go longer than 3 hours. Then let's talk lean and green. Are you weighing out your meat after it's been cooked? Are you making sure you're getting the correct healthy fat? And are you getting the 3 servings of grain? If you are not doing these things, guess what's going to happen? What happened to me? Because I didn't know. Week 1, I'm on it. I'm measuring everything, right? But then because I am the expert dieter, I stopped measuring after my first week. And I had 50 pounds to lose. And at the end of my first month, my coach, I lost 11 pounds and I was thrilled. But she explained that sometimes, again, results not typical, but a lot of times women that have more than 30 or 40 pounds to lose will lose about 12 pounds a month. She lost 14, again, results not typical. But she said, well, what are you doing different? So she did the systems check with me, and I had stopped weighing out my meat and wasn't paying attention to the fats correctly anymore. So I committed that every time I was home, I would weigh out the meat after it was cooked and make sure I was looking at the guidebook and doing the correct fat compared to the category of lean I was choosing, and then eat 3 servings of green. I don't love green vegetables. That's just
Okay, nothing against people who weigh their food and track their calories and macros and stuff. I get that sometimes that can be necessary. However, if you are just a slightly overweight person who has like an office job or sits a lot and doesn't really move a lot during the day, that was me. I never ever tracked or measured my food, and I don't think that that's necessary in order for you to lose weight. Like, obviously you need to know what you're putting on your plate. You need to know how big your portion is and how big it should be. But in my case, what I did was I just knew how big of a portion I ate, and then I reduced my portions a little bit throughout the day, and I lowered the amount of chocolate that I eat every day. I still eat chocolate every day. I ate chocolate every day while I was losing weight. I just implemented, I lowered my portion sizes, reduced the amount of chocolate, and then I just started moving. I implemented walks, and then after a while of just walking, I started working out. But that's it. I don't have any health issues. I'm just a normal person with a sedentary job, and I feel like a lot of people are in that way, or maybe post-pregnancy or trying to lose weight, stuff like that. I really don't feel like you need to get really, really restrictive and really, really into it to measure your food and stuff. And who has time? Come on, if you have kids and a full-time job, you're not gonna have time to measure your foods every single day or put them into your fitness tracker and stuff. So I don't feel like that's really, oh, you have to do this, otherwise you're not gonna lose weight. But I guess there's a lot of different factors that go into it. But same as the scale and everything else, measuring your food and your calories and stuff, it can get really triggering, really toxic over time. You can get really obsessed with the numbers, and that is obviously not mentally healthy, and it could lead to a lot of other issues, which I know, I've been there, I've done that.
Something I get over, but I do it because it's healthy. So I committed to doing that. So guess what? Again, results not typical. Month 1, I lost 11 pounds. Month 2, because I got the stuff dialed in correctly on the lean and green, 13.5 pounds. So that tells you that our program was designed by doctors based on the body and the science of blood sugar balance. So when you are tweaking the program, you're going to tweak the results. Just like me, after week 1, I stopped measuring because I figured I could eyeball it. And once I started measuring, I quickly learned that I was underestimating how much protein I needed by 1 to 2 ounces. And when I had days that I should have been having 2 servings of fats and I was having 0, wow, I was really deficiting my body on how much fat I needed, how much protein I needed, and how many calories I needed for the day. And so that's why I lost less weight my first month and more my second month. So lean, green, fat. Measure it, live it, love it. If you're one of those people that is...
That's also another thing that I'm no weight loss expert, but I feel like it's a normal thing that in the beginning you're going to lose weight quickly and like a bigger amount of weight, but then obviously depend how overweight you would be. But I feel like it has to, the weight loss has to slow down after a while. It just naturally slows down. But as long as you're not regaining your weight back, I don't feel like it's something that you should be, stressed out about that much.
Questioning, do you measure it out? Do you weigh it out? You can use either guide. If you want to just do it in a cup, it's kind of hard to measure in a cup broccoli because it's trees and it sticks and it's bulky. So if you're somebody that wants pure accuracy, then you can go Google Optavia vegetable conversion chart, and it's the weight chart of the cup chart in the guide. So that's there. So are you eating, but when you wake up, are you eating every 3 hours? Are you doing the lean and green and healthy fat correctly? Then how are you doing on water? If you're drinking less than 64 ounces of water, you are not going to be losing at a normal rate. Your body needs water to first not be constipated. You need water to keep that digestive tract moving. You also need water because guess what? For the first time in your life, you're putting 100 grams of protein in your body for the day, and it's supporting your lean muscle mass, which is fantastic. But guess what? When you've lived a carbohydrate-driven life like me, my body doesn't love protein, whether it's out of the grocery store or out of a package. So if I'm not drinking water, wah, wah, wah. That's another video. I'll be making another video on gas and constipation. I have a really old one. It's way down the list. It's applicable, but I know some new things, so I'm going to make a new video. So water, water, water. I did a video on water being the super highway to weight loss, so I'm not going to revisit it, but my goal is always for me to make sure I'm getting enough water that my urine is clear, no color, no cloud, no smell to it, odor. So that's where water is. Then the next question is are you doing too much?
I have to disagree with what she just said. Like, your urine can change color or have a smell if you eat certain foods. Asparagus, is that how you call that? But it happens. Certain types of food are gonna make that. So again, it doesn't have to mean that if it happens that you did something wrong and you have to stress and think about what you did wrong. It's just so stressful listening to this. I can't imagine if I'm someone who's trying to lose weight at the moment and I'm listening to this lady. I'm just like, it's so much stress. It's no wonder people cave and binge eat and stuff like that. The diet fails because there's just so many things and they're so strict about it. It's like, you can't make a single mistake, otherwise you fucked everything up for yourself. It's like, chill out. Like, nothing's gonna happen if you have a cheat meal or if you fuck something up on the day. And like I said, even if something changes, it can be hormones, it can be something that you ate, it can be your digestion. It doesn't have to mean that you did something to fuck up. And again, I'm no weight loss expert, and this lady calls herself a weight loss expert, but the things that she's saying as someone who has been through a weight loss journey, the things that she's saying are just not clicking with me. It's just, are you sure about that, lady?
Are you exercising to the point where you're burning sugar? Because the point of our program is to balance your blood sugar. The point of exercise is to burn sugar. So when you burn too much sugar, moving, working out, whatever it is, it's going to start dipping your blood sugar, and then you're going to start tweaking the results. So do we want you to have healthy movement every day? Yes. Go read Dr. A's chapter on healthy movement, but we want you to be moving, but we don't want you huffing, puffing, or sweating, because when you're huffing, puffing, or sweating, you are now burning sugar, and that's going to start dropping your blood sugar, and it's going to mess with the results. So kind of my answer to this, I also have another video about exercise and the 5-in-1, but the truth of that is realistically, you go find me a personal trainer in America that's pulling more than 6 pounds a month off of somebody. They're not, because it's a very slippery slope to know how many calories that body needs to support that exercise that they did, but how many calories do they not need so that skill will keep moving. So it's just a scientific number. It's a very hard thing to figure out. And when you start exercising, it just by default slows it down because it's very hard to get that correct caloric intake against that exercise. So go back and watch that video. So are you doing too much exercise? And then my last thing is are you staying up way too late and not eating? So basically you want to make sure you keep eating while you're awake. So go ahead and call nutrition support on this. This is a really fun one to talk to nutrition support, 888 Optavia. They will talk you through this. When I first started coaching, I asked, because I had a client that was he was a firefighter, and he was going to be working really long shifts. And I said, so do I just have him keep eating and fueling every 3 hours? And she said, after 9 o'clock at night, or like after you've had all 5 and 1 in, at that point is when you can either do another fueling or half of a lean. And I remember saying to her, well, who wants to eat half a chicken breast at 11 o'clock at night? And she goes, no, that's when you go to the vegetarian guide. So Google Optavia vegetarian guide and just save it to your phone. And that's where you're going to find cheese and eggs and things like that, or cottage cheese that you could use. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that guide exists. And she's like, how many clients do you have? You might want to talk to your coach and learn a little more. So when people are like, I could never coach, I don't know enough. Well, trust me, I was coaching people and they were losing weight and I didn't know everything back then, and I'm still learning. So what I personally do for me, if I'm up late at night, sometimes I'll just grab another bar, or I always have low-fat mozzarella cheese sticks in my fridge, and I always have low-fat cottage cheese. On the vegetarian guide, you'll see 2 low-fat mozzarella cheese sticks is half of a lean, and 3/4 of a cup of low-fat cottage cheese is also a lean. So if you go do that late at night after you've done the 5 and 1, you can do that in replace of the fueling, but you cannot do that during the day. But if you have any questions on that, go call nutrition support. That's where I learned that information. So those are my tips on when somebody's scale and inches are not moving, how I diagnose what they need to tweak. And normally it's that they're not staying consistent every 3 hours. They're not eating when they first wake up. They're staying too late and letting their blood sugar dip because they've been up too long without eating. And then they go to bed with their blood sugar already on the decline. They're not drinking enough water. And the common one is not weighing out the meat after it's been cooked and getting the correct healthy fat. Comment below if this was the systems check you needed to reel it back in a little bit tighter, because my gut...
This sounds just so terrible and so restricted to me. I mean, it just sounds awful and stressful to be on these programs. Like I said, as someone who has been through weight loss, this doesn't sound right to me at all. I was working night shifts and I was eating my meals during the evening, obviously. I would have a big lunch at 10 minutes after midnight. That was when our lunch break was. So I would have a big lunch at midnight and then I would sleep throughout most of the day. I wasn't getting too much sleep in the night shift, but there's a lot of people who have different shifts and that eat during the night. But anyways, let's move on to the next one. This is a short reel.
I do not recommend this strategy.
I don't have a plan for Thanksgiving. Whatever happens, happens. And then she says, I don't recommend this strategy. And then the caption says, a failure to plan is planning to fail. We all know that the key to a healthy lifestyle all starts in our mindset. This doesn't mean that we have to deprive ourselves of our favorite traditional Thanksgiving foods this year, but it also doesn't mean we should throw caution to the wind and whatever happens, happens. We are in control of what goes into our bodies, and that means we are also in control of how we want to feel when we wake up on Friday morning. Make a plan and stick to it. If your plan means staying completely in structure with your hashtag Optavia 5 and 1 meals, then do it. If your plan involves a few bites of your absolute favorite foods with the family, then do it. In the moments when we eat out of boredom, emotion, or stress, that derails our health journey the most, and that's also when we accidentally ate the entire pumpkin pie. Remember, you are in control of how you show up this holiday season, and as long as you have made your plan, you will be set up for massive success. What is your plan for Thanksgiving this year? Let me know in the comments. Hashtag Optavia. So this again is kinda too restrictive in my opinion. I always allow myself to eat whatever I want and how much I want, but then again, I'm a healthy adult person who now moves a lot and exercises. I'm also doing bulk and cut. I forgot to say that. I'm literally bulking and cutting since 2020, September 2020, and I'm doing all of that that just by approximately measuring my portion sizes and things like that. And it's possible to do it without measuring food, but that's just my opinion. If you are a beginner, you should definitely find a personal trainer to start off, and after a while you would be. I really disagree that you need to measure your foods and be so strict about everything, regardless if it's a weight loss journey or just a general fitness journey. I don't know, like I said, as someone who's been through a weight loss journey, this just sounds terrible to me, and I feel like you should really be able to give yourself those few days around Thanksgiving and Christmas to enjoy time with your family, enjoy good food and other things that it brings without, you know, sweating over how many calories you ate. And obviously I'm just talking from my own perspective as someone, like I said, who's healthy, who doesn't have any health issues related to weight and stuff like that. So yeah, obviously if you have any further health issues, you should really talk to your doctor about these things as well. And yes, you might feel shit from all the extra sugar, but it's gonna pass, you know? You just drink a lot of water the day after, make sure to go for a walk, move a little bit, and it's gonna pass. And I feel like it's always worth it. Like, I always have a giant belly after Christmas because I just eat so much sugar, and my family, especially my dad and I, would just big sugar addicts, big sweet tooth over here. I'm so bloated from all the sugar and everything, but I never really regretted it. I mean, it just goes out and it just goes back to normal within a few days after, and I feel like it's always worth it for those memories, enjoying the family moment. Next one's the same girl, and she says this:
lies and more lies and lies on top of lies.
Okay, so lies. I can't lose weight. Nothing works for me. I'm just meant to be heavier. It's genetics. My family would never get on board. I don't have time to eat healthy. I need to cheat on the weekends. And she's saying it's all lies. And then her caption says, by the way, I told myself these lies too. Eye roll. But guess what? I focus on growing instead of limiting myself to a little box that kept me the same, and so can you. Let's do it together, girl. You're more powerful than you know. I guess the only thing to tackle is genetics is a thing. It depends on what your body type is. Some body types gain weight easily, more easy than others. So if you don't know, we have ectomorph, mesomorph, and endomorph. Endomorph is what I am. Endomorphs gain weight the easiest out of all three types. Mesomorphs are basically the really muscular type of bodies, and ectomorphs are the thinner ones, the ones with really fast metabolism. That's like the very simple thing, but Google it if you would like to know more about this. It's definitely a thing, and your genetics and your body type plays a big role in how easy it is to gain or lose weight for yourself. Obviously, it's not an excuse, but to just be so disrespectful, dismissive, and it's like, it's all lies, and stop telling yourself lies and stuff like that. It's not the attitude I would go for if I was, well, pretending to be a health coach and weight loss coach on social media. But anyways, that's all I had for you today, guys. Let me know down below what you thought about this. Let me know down below what you think about Optavia in general. If you've been on their programs or anything like that, please do email me. I would love to hear your experiences. What did your day-to-day look like? What was your health coach telling you, advising you? I'd love to hear more about this MLM company, because I definitely didn't see, I think Erin made a good few videos on them live, but I didn't really see that many videos on them, and I really do love this. Thank you so much again, Lynn, for sending it on. It's so cute. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. I really appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys. Don't forget to click that like and subscribe button if you'd like to support me, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye.